Hello and welcome to Holy Tuesday. All right, so on Sunday we celebrated Palm Sunday and we talked about Jesus coming into Jerusalem. We made palms and put them in our box. And then yesterday we told a story that had to do with money. We put a coin in our box. We talked about how Jesus came into the temple and he flipped the tables over and he said, "This is a house of worship and you've turned it into a den of robbers. You're stealing from each other and not doing the right thing." So Jesus fixed that one right up. And then today we're going to read another story about money. Now, money is a pretty important thing in our world. We use it to buy things, we sell things. It's how our world goes round in a lot of ways. So it's an important thing for us to talk about, and there are lots of stories in the Bible about it too. Now today, our story comes from the Gospel of Mark. The Gospel of Mark, chapter 12, verses 41 to 44. If you want to get a Bible to read it yourself, you can, but I'm also going to read the story to you. Again, that's the Gospel of Mark, chapter 12, verses 41 to 44. And for this story, I went ahead and drew another picture on my box. Again, it's not a super fancy picture, but it's the best I can do. And Jesus is once again a part of our story, and I found this awesome doll that is going to play Jesus for today and for the rest of the week. So if you find a doll in your home that can be a part of our story, that can be your Jesus doll for the week, go ahead and find one of those, and we'll be using it in our stories from now and through the end of the week. So, our story from the Gospel of Mark. Jesus, this is our Jesus, remember? He was sitting in the temple near the offering box. And this is going to be our offering box today. Do you guys remember how sometimes in church, your parents or even you will put money into an offering plate? There's this plate that goes around and everybody puts money into it, and then we carry it up to the altar, and they are our gifts. There are gifts that we're giving to help serve the world. They help the church do good things and help the church to run every day, but we also help people with that money. So this is the offering box in the temple for our story, and this is Jesus. Now, Jesus, he was watching people put in their gifts in the offering box. He noticed that many rich people were giving a lot of money. So these are rich people with their fancy hats and their pretty clothes and their big bags of money. So he noticed that many rich people were giving a lot of money into the offering box. And finally, a poor widow, now this poor widow, right? She doesn't have a lot of money. She doesn't have a lot to give. She came up and put in two coins that were worth only a few pennies. Now, how much is a penny worth? Do you guys know? It doesn't buy a whole lot in our world. But Jesus told his disciples to gather around him. Then he said, "I tell you that this poor widow has put in more than all the others." What? She only put in 2 pennies. They definitely put in more. But listen to what Jesus says. "Everyone else gave what they didn't need, but she is very poor and gave everything that she had. Now she doesn't have a cent to live on." Well, Jesus, what are we supposed to do with that story? She doesn't have a cent to live on now. Well, I was thinking about this story a little bit, and I think a big part of what Jesus is trying to tell us is that there are ways we can serve and give to God even when we don't have a whole lot. Right? How can we serve God when we don't have a whole lot of money or when we don't have a lot to give? And right now, we are in our homes. We're not supposed to go out a lot, so it's kind of hard to serve people. But Jesus is asking us, what can we do? What can we do to give to God's kingdom? What can we do to bring God's love into the world, even when we don't have a lot, even when we can't do a lot or go a lot of places? So some things that I've seen a lot of people put these really cool pictures in their windows, leaving nice messages for people. Some people will write messages on their sidewalk saying nice things so that when people are going for walks or when the people who have to go to work are still going to work, they can see nice messages on their way. And you can even pray for people. We always, 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 always need prayer. So you can always pray for people, even right now, right? Pray for people all the time. But get creative. What can you do to help serve God's kingdom even when you don't have a lot to give or even when you can't go a lot of places? So this week, we are going to have someone at church. Barb Carr is going to be taking donations for the organization called ACTS. And do you guys know what ACTS is? Every month we bring food to church and then we bring that food up to the altar. And you guys usually do that during the children's message. You bring food up and that food goes to help people in need. Well, on Thursday evening, Barb Carr is going to be collecting food to take over to ACTS. She's going to be sitting in the parking lot at church. And if you and your parents want to go drop off food, you don't even have to, get out of your car or anything like that. I'm sure Barb Carr would love that. But if not, that's okay too. What can you do in your home with your family to help show love to other people? Maybe you do put a picture up in your window. Maybe you do put a message on your sidewalk with sidewalk chalk. Whatever you want to do, however you feel you can serve God and bring God's love into the world, right now from where you are. God will love it, whatever it is. Okay? So with our box, our item that we need to add to our box today, we're going to add another coin, right? Because this is another story about money, about the woman bringing her 2 pennies, all that she had, and giving them in the offering box in the temple. So we're going to add another coin to our box today. That's our item, and tomorrow we'll have another story for you, and I look forward to seeing you again. Bye!